Ink Ribbon.
Whether you love them or hate them, you gotta admit that the Ashford twins are memorable. Today I thought it'd be fun to dive into the Ashford family tree and see what strange fruit it might bear. From ant farms to daddy issues, here are 25 facts about Alfred and Alexia Ashford. Alfred and Alexia are not fraternal or identical twins, but actually clones. Much like everything at Umbrella, they were not born, but created. After the Ashford name began to fall, the twins were created by their father in order to attempt to restore the Ashford name and legacy. The other main motivation was to prevent Spencer from taking over Umbrella if Alexander was to die. Originally, only Alexia was planned, intended to be a complete clone of Veronica, but as a zygote, the cells split into two fetuses and thus Alfred was made alongside her, as a byproduct versus a planned human. They had then changed plans and began planning for two Veronica clones, one male and one female. Alexia and Alfred were made using DNA harvested from the body of Veronica herself and were born via a surrogate mother. They were the result of a 3-year-long genetics project to ensure that they turned out with the intelligence comparable to Veronica, who was renowned for it. Alexia was born a genius as intended, but due to some sort of error, Alfred, while still very smart, was nowhere near the levels of genius that Alexander had hoped for. Alexia actually has a rivalry with William Birkin, first being mentioned in an N64 exclusive EX file where Birkin talks about the problems from the Antarctic base that caused massive damage and that the Ashford's reputation is tarnished. Then in Resident Evil 1 Remake, another file has Birkin talking about how the G-Virus will allow him to surpass Alexia. The clinical term for Alfred's mental state is known as dissociative identity disorder and is characterized mainly by having at least two distinct and separate personality states, usually as a result of trauma. In order to better deal with his neurosis, he named his female alter ego Tanya. Alexia wasn't just a genius, but also a prodigy in her field, graduating from university and becoming a virologist at Umbrella at the age of 10. In order to protect her, Alexia was declared dead when she was put into cryostasis, and Alfred legally became the 7th Earl of the Ashford family. The twins did not kill their father for no reason. Around 1983, the twins discovered a secret room in the Antarctic base where they learned the full truth about how they were created and grew intensely hateful towards their father. As both revenge and opportunity, Alexia tested out a new virus she had been developing on him. Alexia infected Alexander with a virus that combined the progenitor virus, also known as the T-Virus, with an ancient virus she found in a queen ant, and thus she created the T-Veronica virus. This resulted in transformation into the monster we know as Nosferatu. The results were noted, and Alexia realized that in order to not end up with the same flaws as him, she would have to put herself in cryostasis after injecting herself with this new virus. If the player hacks the linear launcher before they are supposed to have it and shoots Alexia's second form, the game registers it as hitting her final form and the game ends. In Darkside Chronicles, the personalities of Alfred and Alexia were changed to make them more immature and childlike. The reason this was likely done is due to the fact that Alexia was only 13 years old when she was put into cryostasis, which means that when she emerged as an adult, she would still have the mentality of a 13-year-old. In order to prevent Claire and Steve from escaping, Alfred sends a tyrant after them. This tyrant was personally delivered by Hunk, as detailed in the file titled Hunk's Report. Throughout the game are various motifs of ants. Alexia's obsession with ants stems from the fascination of how all the other ants serve the queen, since that's exactly how she sees herself, believing that she is more important than all other people who are only there to serve her. This is further symbolized during the final battle where Alexia rests on top of what appears to be a hive but is actually an ant farm, and all the ants rush to her aid as she is damaged. It's never fully explained what the giant tentacle is, but the official name given to it is the Alexia pod, and may have been created using a virus similar to the virus used to make the V-complex plant, with the biggest difference being Alexia's ability to control it, even being transported by it. When Alfred is trying to shoot you in the courtyard, if you aim in first person, you can see that he actually isn't there. The lullaby Alexia sings is technically what is called a berceuse, which is a simple melody on a time of 6/8 and is usually specifically used to help babies sleep. This is part of the reason she sings it while holding Alfred's body and stroking his hair. Peter Oldring, who voices Alfred, is also the voice of Cody on Total Drama Island and Connor on Braceface. In the original concept for Code Veronica, the twins were named Hilbert and Hilda Kruger and were the children of a Nazi who escaped World War II on a submarine and set up his base on the island. It would have also featured a butler, and Jill was going to be the main character. Code Veronica was the last game in the series to use guns from real manufacturers, and the sniper rifle that Alfred uses is an MR7 bolt-action sniper rifle. In Darkside Chronicles, it's revealed that Rockford Island, where the Ashfords have their base, is in the Pacific Ocean off the west coast of South America. The medals Alfred wears seem to be fictitious. I searched American, British, and even Nazi medals to find a match, but no luck. If you recognize any of these, please let us know in the comments. The Antarctic base has almost an exact replica of the front hall of the Spencer Mansion. This was specifically commissioned to be built by the Ashfords. Alexander was imprisoned around the same time Alexia was put into cryosleep, which means that he was sitting in the underground room for about 15 years. The twins were born in 1971, making them both 27 during the events of Code Veronica and also the age that they died. With the death of the Ashford twins, there are now no known living members of the Ashford family, ending their legacy once and for all. And that is it for this video. I hope you learned something new, and if you did, please accuse that like button of attacking your base. And for more fact videos like these, check out my other videos where I cover a ton of characters and locations. If you haven't subscribed, this is a great time to save your game. I promise there will be a lot more content like this in the future. Until next time, I'm Kai Morgan, and as always, thanks for watching Ink Ribbon. And a very special thank you to all of my Patreon supporters and YouTube members. Your extra support means the world to me and helps me keep making content for you guys.